There's just one more event to go before we find out who will be crowned the champion.
Glenn Ross has got a good lead, but it is still a competition and he could still be beaten. And I reckon Rob Frampton could do it.
He could indeed, and there's a big battle on for that third position between James Fennelly and Gary Gardner, who are on equal points. So let's see what happens.
Well, we are here, the final event. What's this one, Jeff?
It's called the power stairs. Basically what they've got to do, they have 3 sets of weights going from 200, 225 and 250.
Kilograms.
So
that's like a deadlift again.
Certainly a deadlift, but it's a concentrated weight. It's not.
No,
like
I can do a 200 deadlift.
Yeah, but it's not a bar. It's not on a bar. It's a
harder.
concentrated weight, which is much harder. And what they've got to do, they've got to stand astride. They've got to pick it up, put it on the first step, jump up with it. Next step, jump up. Next step, jump up. Run down, get onto the next one, and do exactly the same thing until all 3 weights are on the top of the stairs, and then and only then will the time stop.
And time limit?
90 seconds.
That's going. That's
a very tough event.
I reckon this is the toughest event we've had.
Probably is at the end, and this is obviously why it is at the end, the toughest, and the last man standing wins.
So I can deadlift 200 kilos on a bar, but that's a lot harder.
You will not do it because it's a concentrated weight, and if I were you, don't even attempt it. I don't care how good a fighter you are.
Okay.
You got no chance. Goodbye.
You cheeky sod.
Well, there are the rules. 90 seconds, 3 weights, 200 kilograms, 220 and 250. Just to give you some idea of the task ahead, the 200, what, a couple of fridges? I guess so. Must be lifted up 5 steps. And I guess the first pairing is the big man, Gary Gardner, versus James Fennelly. He's on the opposite side of this 5-step arrangement. There he is. Who will prevail here?
Gary, you're in joint third with James Fennelly. Do you think you can take this position?
I've never done the event. I've never practiced the event, but I'll put my heart and soul into beating him. So we'll see.
James, you're obviously preparing and psyching yourself up now. Can you get that third spot, take it from Gary?
We'll give it everything we have now. You know, it's a tall man's event, so hopefully Gary's very tall, obviously too, but we'll do our best as we always do. You know.
You're both evenly matched on this one, and you will be going head to head. So will that help you to gauge your performance? Can you see him across from the other side?
To be honest, I'll concentrate on my own game, you know, and I'll do as hard and as fast as I can, like I always do, and we'll see how it goes. That's good enough. That's good enough. It's not, let it be, you know.
Well, it would be a real battle between James Fennelly and Gary Gardner. Fennelly's a very good powerlifter, so is Gardner, and Fennelly already leading up the first with the 200 kilogram weight. Very quick indeed. Now then, they've got to get the second of the weights up there as well. That's 225 kilograms. As you can see written on it. Now then, pretty even here. Oh, it's gone. Fennelly's 225 has gone down, and there's just one more to go for Gary Gardner. And Fennelly's got to get back up there with that second weight. He really is struggling, and Gardner is going to win this as long as he can get the weights to the top. Now then, 4 steps done, 1 more to go, 5 steps, and Gary Gardner's there. Well, that's a very good performance by the big man, and that dropped weight is going to cost James Fennelly dear. Well, that really was a tough one, wasn't it? And now he's got 1 more to go. There is a time limit on all of this of 90 seconds on these power stairs. But James Fennelly, can he make the second step in the time? I don't think he's going to, you know. No, he makes 1 step, and that may be good enough to place him in this. Oh, that was tough. And Gary Gardner beats James Fennelly, and it was down to the dropped weight, wasn't it? What a good performance.
James, oh my goodness, you were even Stevens until that weight came tumbling down.
Thank God he didn't tumble down on me, but yeah, that's the joys of strongman. These things happen.
Gary, wow, what a fantastic performance. You are one of the few men in history to have got that weight to the top in under 90 seconds. You actually did it in 39 seconds. You must be elated.
Well, it's that's it. The first time I've ever done UKs, and I've come third. So I'll be quite happy with that.
You're giving yourself a pat on the back.
I think so, yeah.
Well, I think you should too, but now we've got Rob Frampton. He's on the left-hand side of this step structure against Glenn Ross, of course, the leader coming into this last event. And remember, only Frampton can beat Ross.
It's not over yet. I mean, it's a 5-point lead and there's 8 competitors, so I still have to bust it in the final event.
No complacency.
No complacency, no, definitely not.
Rob, you're in second position, not too far behind Glenn. Is it possible? Can you get this title?
Anything's possible. With strongman, you just never know. You have to just do the sums, hope for the best.
Well, Glenn Ross, what can you do this time? You've got the lead going into this event. You really need now to do all that's necessary, really. So Frampton on the left. Remember, if he beats Glenn Ross, well, Glenn Ross falters, then he could take over the lead, but it's a big ask because Ross is already ahead, going on to the second of the 3 stones. This is the 225 kilogram weight. He's been very careful and meticulous this time. So is Rob Frampton, but Frampton, I think, is finding it a little bit more difficult here. This has been a long competition, and the fatigue factor is setting in here. Ross just getting the next step. Look at this. There's still the big one to go. And then there's the final step for 225 for Glenn Ross. And at the moment, he is the leader. And if it continues like this, he's going to be the champion again. It's going to be his 5th title, but he's still got to perform. Rob Frampton's really struggling here. Very difficult indeed. It's 30 seconds. You heard that call. And I just wonder, Glenn Ross will see what's happening on the other side of the structure here. And Glenn has now got to go again. Now, will he go again? He doesn't need to, really, and that's it. So Glenn Ross, I think, has done enough. Frampton now has not, as you can hear the countdown, and that means that Ross now knows that he's the champion. There's no one can beat him now. Rob Frampton was the only one, but the battle for the places is what is interesting. Gardner, Fennelly, Meir, Ross, Carter, Frampton, Norris and Slater, all in that order, all based on time and steps. Well, Glenn Ross on 34 points wins it comfortably by a 7-point margin over Gary Gardner, who, with Rob Frampton both on the same points, but of course Gardner beat Frampton in the last event. That's how he's got second over Rob Frampton in third.
Glenn, you're the champion. How does it feel to win it for the 5th time?
Very good. Very good. It's nice to be amongst 5-time legends in the sport, you know. So it's a really good feeling, you know.
I bet it is. And you did say you'd retire after this, but
yeah.
Are you not now motivated to keep going?
That's it now. Going to promote and run the sport and take it where the level it needs to go to. And I think now, after the 7-year plan, I think I've got strongman back to what it is about, ultimate strength.
You've certainly had a lot of support. You've put on a great show. You've won the show. You're UK's strongest man, Glenn. Well done.
Thank you. Who's the daddy?
Well, certainly Glenn Ross is the daddy, and he proved it over the days of this competition. His 5th UK strongman title. He was second last year, but this year he's back to his best. He's once again UK's strongest man.
Come on! Who's the daddy?
It's been a great day of competition and so close right up to that final event.
I bet Glenn's pretty happy to regain his title. I can imagine there's going to be some serious celebrating going on in this house tonight.
I'm sure there will be. We hope you've enjoyed watching at home. Join us next time.
Come on, who's the daddy?